This is a meeting of the Eastham Board of Library Trustees and will be video recorded and broadcast over local access channel 18 and through the town website at www.eastham-ma.gov. I call this meeting to order at 4:00 p.m. May I have a motion to recess due to the anticipated late arrival of board members due to a scheduling conflict? Would someone make that motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
approved? Robin?
Yes.
Sarah, myself, Walsh, yes. We are in recess. And stuff.
Yeah.
Even though I was sick.
Okay, I call this meeting back to order at 4:20 p.m. The recess is ended. Okay, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of June 17th as printed in the packet with edits, if any?
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
In a second,
Second.
we have a second. Any discussion? Yes, Mary?
Just quickly, Willow, it's just a small thing, but at the top there, this meeting will also be broadcast on local access channel, and you still have 18 in there because
Yeah.
that's what we used. It's 8. It's been 8 for about a year now.
Hold on. It's 8.
8. It's been 8 for about a year.
Maybe I'll change my announcement also.
You're still announcing 18?
There should be 8 on that.
It is 8 on that?
Yeah, I've been reading off of mine, so I never changed it on this. Okay.
I didn't, I apologize, Will. I didn't notice it until I was working on the meeting today, and I realized that it had the wrong channel.
Okay, so we'll just accept that as an editorial correction, but we don't have to vote on that. Right. Okay, we do not have any members of the public present, nor do we have our student ambassadors today. We will pick up the Friends of the Library report later in the meeting when Debbie Abbott arrives, as she is involved with the garden tour and notified me that she will be late. See, we are up to the director's report then.
We have a vote on this later, but I just want to update the board on the progress that I've made in working to secure a community fridge for the library. Just to give a little context, a couple of years ago, we were approached specifically by the Family Table Collaborative after having a casual conversation with the health department. And they indicated that it was appealing to the community to have a secondary community fridge at the library due to the extended hours that the library has as compared to the health department. There's a scaffolding, I guess we can call it, that we need to set up in order to potentially add this service to the library. So one thing that I'm pursuing in order to do that is to serve safe certifications, one for general fluid handling and one for allergen awareness. And the health department has kind of set up a special permit for us to have a community fridge here at the library with approval pending the ServSafe certifications. Well, we can discuss this a little bit more. Hopefully you've all had a chance to look at the community fridge policy. But my plan in trying to implement this, and I think at this point, just with some other things we have going on, it will not actually take effect until the fall at this point. But my plan is to manage this myself to start, and subsequently we will add volunteers or staff and train them to assist with the community fridge, kind of depending on the community need and how frequently it is used. Any questions about the community fridge update just before? Yeah, go ahead, Mary.
I'd just like to know how much it's going to cost to run it, and I'm concerned that given the fact that we have provided you with a number of floaters over the past number of years in order to even open this library on a regular basis and provide staff for the programs. I'm concerned about how much it's going to cost, and if whether those monies would be better used to keep the library open longer than to do a fridge type of situation.
Okay, the community fridge cost for 1 year is listed in
Yeah,
our.
25, I think I saw 25 or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, that's the anticipated cost for 1 year of service based on the cost per meal that Family Table Collaborative
Mhm.
gave to me. Um. So maybe we can discuss that more with the fund commitments coming
Mhm.
up. Okay. Any other questions about the, yeah, go ahead. Al.
Yeah, I'm concerned, we did something a few summers ago, food for kids at the library. And it did not go over well. I believe we ran it for 2 summers. I know I volunteered in the program. And this just didn't seem to be a place that people came to for food. Most of the food for kids was distributed through the rec department. And most of the kids that we picked up at all weren't really kids who lived in the community. They were here on vacation during the summer. And it was just run during the summer.
Mhm.
And the conversation was very typically, do you want to have a sandwich here or do you want to go to Arnold's?
Mhm.
And after 2 years, Debbie Abbott was coordinating here. We basically folded the program here. Then those of us who were volunteering to run the program here, so we started, we volunteered through the rec department so that we could do it there. So that's one of my concerns, whether it's the right fit. And another one, Mary hit staff time, that was a concern. And the question of liability, is there, from other places who have something like a community fridge, I know, you've probably, looked into it. Are there any issues of liability that we need to be concerned with? People picking up food from the fridge and then something coming about, or I just don't know.
Well, the only people that would be handling the food in the fridge to begin with would be myself. And then people taking it out of the fridge to take home, to start with, because that'd be the only person trained. The permit from the health department would kind of cover us there, so they would give us, permission to be disseminating food in that way. And our policy would indicate, what kind of food we circulate, for lack of a better word, there. So it would only be prepackaged, ready to go meals and fresh produce. Um. So that would limit our liability there.
Would the people coming to use the community fridge, would they have the direct access to the fridge, or would they get a staff member to say, I'd like to take something from the community fridge?
They would have direct access to it,
Okay.
but it would be within the sight line of the circulation.
Yeah,
depth.
that's the issue.
The
Yeah,
staff
could they
could-
conceivably,
Yeah,
I
put
told them
something?
I know, you had come to the meeting, but they're like.
There,
With everything.
there are other questions on the community fridge? And we're coming back to this on the road business, is that correct? Yeah.
yes.
Thank you.
Where's it gonna go?
First
I
wire.
park next to you.
Oh, okay, it's in the back.
Okay, thank you.
Where's the fridge gonna go?
The fridge, will have wheels so it can move around the lobby area a bit, but the intention is for it to be in kind of full access, for the public in the main lobby area. Yeah.
And it's gonna be set up for power outages?
The front of the library runs on the generator, so that would prevent, that from being an issue. I think that I just want to address the comments that Al and Mary has brought this up previously, and I think some other folks have had, I don't know, concerns, wanting to make sure that this resource, if we're putting money into it, is going to be well used by the community. I definitely understand if the board doesn't think this is a good fit at the time. I totally appreciate that, but I will say, for what it's worth, that it's a different kind of program than the Foods for Kids. It's not specific to an age group. It would be open to anybody. We know that youth are a pretty small segment of our population, so I'm hoping that not having an age restriction there or a time kind of restriction, it would be available anytime the library is open, versus the Food for Kids was pretty specifically a late morning lunch timeline program. But it is definitely up to the board to, help make the executive decision in terms of where staff resources are best spent there. Any other comments about the community?
Is my understanding is the library would purchase the fridge and then we'd own it?
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
And
Is that the 25,000?
it wouldn't be, not 25,000, I hope,
The
500?
2,500
Oh, I thought it
would be
said
the
20.
cost of the meals for a single year. The cost of the fridge would be separate, and I neglected to put that in our fund commitments.
Oh, so we're paying the family collaborative for the meals.
Yeah, about half the cost per meal. And what I budgeted is that they would do. I don't remember the exact number of meals that they gave an example of delivering, but they ask partnering organizations to pay for half of the cost of each meal that they deliver, and each meal comes out to be, I think it was about $6 if we're talking like the sandwiches. So that was an estimate that I had. It was like $3 per however many sandwiches per 2 deliveries per week. This is an overestimation. I would start with 1 day of delivery a week, but I wanted to give the board an idea of kind of the maximum amount that it might cost in a single year if we were going to sustain this.
Another question is, are there other places in town that are doing a community fridge? Like is something at town hall or the rec department?
Yeah. We have
health
a
department.
well-run, long-term family pantry at the Methodist Church. It's been ongoing for years and years and years. At the Council on Aging, they provide baked goods on a regular basis that they get from Stop and Shop. Anybody can take them, they're free. They have Meals on Wheels for people through the Council on Aging. They provide free meals through the collaborative. I got a free meal there the other day after my yoga class. The entire class was given a free meal. They had enough for the entire class. Not that we asked for it, but that's just what they had. They provide free meals all the time for different programs that they have there. I've had my lunch there on numerous occasions when they have meetings. There's the pantry right next door here to at the Chapel in the Pines.
Yeah.
There's the school. That's where the food for kids is being held right now. Monday through Friday, up through age 18, I think it is. Anybody can stop between 11:30 and 12:30 and get a meal to go, all summer long.
Yeah.
And there's the program at the town hall. So it's a lot, not like and there are other places. I mean, there's places in Orleans. There's a pantry in Harwich that I see every Wednesday when I go to the church there.
Yeah, I'm aware of a lot of food pantries that my wife is thinking to
Isn't
call,
there a
but
community refrigerator at the town hall? And
At the health.
at the health
Health department.
department, there's a community refrigerator there,
Yeah.
but they don't have long, I never make it. But I
Yeah.
wanted to
Oh,
get there.
Yeah,
My wallet's in there.
and as Mary was saying, I'm aware of a lot of places that distribute food
Right.
through my work with, church. I was just focusing more on the fridge,
Right.
which I think you just said is there one like a town hall? a
There's one
community
at the
fridge?
health, at the health department,
Health
at the
department,
town hall,
yeah.
yeah.
So I,
But
Yeah,
that's
I-
what we're supplementing. One of my understanding is that their hours are so restrictive that they were saying, for the hours that we're open later than they are, this could supplement them. And with the meal that's already prepared, I mean, I understand that there's lots of free food around for people to get, but what if you can't prepare your food?
Yeah.
And if
Okay.
you're picking up to give to someone else who's housebound or something like that.
Yeah, well, they have the Meals on Wheels and the collaborative, all
That's
those
once
meals.
a day, right? Meals on Wheels?
Yeah,
Once a
and
day.
and the collaborative has meals that are all set to go.
Once a day.
all right, well, I think we've discussed it somewhat here, and we're gonna come back to it under old business where we'll act on the motion later, but at least we've had an initial discussion.
Okay,
Uh,
all right, should I keep going?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, an update on the Outdoor Creative Playspace. Hopefully you all have seen, our materials were delivered. They're in the front lawn of the library. We're waiting to install them, pending the approval of our Outdoor Creative Playspace policy so that staff feel we've got appropriate, the foundation, and management of that new asset. And so we can discuss that more under old business. the strategic plan update, hopefully everyone had a chance to take a look at the notes that I provided in that section of my director's report. You can see that the feedback is separated into essentially 3 different categories. These are going to be the foundation for the community goals that we put together in the strategic plan. So that's why I kind of gathered all of the feedback under those 3 separate categories. The specifics will help inform our actions each year, our annual action plan, as we work to implement this plan over the next 5 years. The last point that I want to bring up is that everybody, as I indicated here, everybody was in favor of keeping the mission statement, which is great. I've always been really proud of our mission statement from the last time that the community and trustees worked to develop a long-range plan. The only comment that was suggested was to capitalize the word community for emphasis. But barring that, there was no feedback about the mission statement. Everybody felt it really resonated with our current efforts to serve the community now. So I'm inclined to just kind of leave it as it is. Mary was the person who suggested capitalizing community, but I don't personally feel that strongly about it. I don't know if the board feels strongly about making that change. But I think that it would make sense to approve reapprove the mission statement for this current iteration of our strategic plan. When we have the draft plan for the board to approve, so we can kind of do it all at once.
Yeah, and it would be reapproved with that editorial change.
Yeah,
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 and that would be when we're down the road
Yep.
looking at the final strategic plan. Okay.
Just a couple other updates. I'm gonna be scheduling a financial workshop with new trustees, which is just Robin at this point. If anybody else is interested in setting up a session to review library finances with me, or if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And I'd be happy to make time for us to sit and chat together. Mary, do you have a pocket guide for the trustees?
Yes, I
You
do.
Okay, great. So they sent us a couple others, and I'm gonna have Connie catalog one, so we have it as like a reference guide too.
I'd like to, I had a question on that financial workshop.
Sure.
Since I am responsible as a liaison to for the finances, I guess I'm a little surprised that I wasn't asked to be included.
Well, it wasn't a financial review, it was to like informational, because not every new trustee has the background context, so this is more to update the new trustees on what the different accounts are. And their
I would like to be included,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Sure, okay.
We haven't set up a meeting yet.
I'm sorry?
We haven't set up a meeting.
Yeah,
for it yet.
no, I'm just.
Yeah, so this is the first time everybody's hearing about it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, other updates, the last update in my director's report is an update on the Terrapin sculpture. I think looking back in our minutes in the fall, we had discussed potentially taking in this donation as part of like the overall development of outdoor library spaces. So things have progressed a little bit, so I think it's time for the board to kind of readdress this and decide whether or not they want to accept this gift for the library sort of officially. So I asked Willow to give us a deed of gift from the Eastham Garden Tour Committee, since they're the owners of this sculpture. But it's just, up to the board to officially accept or discuss the donation there. Yeah.
Does anyone have comments? I have some comments I want to make, but I don't want to hog the discussion.
We can start. I do have comments too, though. Some questions anyway.
I guess when we left this a while back, it was I guess back in November of 24, we had talked about it being coordinated with long-range planning. And when the presentation was made back then, it included a number of other aspects, location, possibly, the furniture that might be added over time, et cetera. There were a number of discussions, all of which remained open. We really never reached any conclusions on anything. And I know part of the proposal is, I think it involves having this in place by September or the fall. And I'm just wondering, is given where we left it off, are we moving too quickly if we try to act on a motion today? But I want to hear what other people think about it, because I know Mike came in and did a rather detailed presentation. And there are people on the, I guess it was the garden tour committee that are very, committed to this and would like to see it move forward. But we sort of left it back in November and,
Right.
plan to come back to it, and we haven't done anything with it since then. So,
So the proposal is a temporary placement, because we're gonna take ownership of this thing. The library committee, the garden tour committee is gonna take ownership of it in late August. And we need to put it somewhere. So the thought was we would put it temporarily in the reading garden while these other issues were decided. And it's not going to be affixed permanently. So it's very easy to move. So we're looking for a temporary placement while these other issues get decided.
It can go outside
It is outside. It's an outside sculpture.
What are the other issues?
we had discussed,
Oh, whether we're gonna accept it or not.
No,
yeah, no, it's, we had to, at the,
whether there be furniture, whether there's shade, there was a big discussion.
Okay, yeah, I
you know,
hear that part.
the question, safety discussion about if it's behind the library,
yeah, I
et
remember
cetera,
all that.
or if
Yes.
it's in the reading garden, it's not too
Mhm.
close. So there were a lot of discussions that we had,
Mm.
but no closure was reached on any of them.
But
so-
the deed document we got said it's a temporary,
It's a long-term loan,
a long-term loan.
Right.
So it,
because the library tries not to own anything.
uh-huh,
So if you want to not deal with it anymore at some point, you can say, come get your long-term loan.
mhm. But then it also said the library was liable for any damage.
Yeah,
done to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
And do
like
we have?
And it
to
weighs
have-
400 pounds. If it falls on somebody,
I was gonna say,
Fall on
do
something.
we have insurance?
Something could fall off of it.
It's
Do
10 inches tall, it sits off the ground.
Do we have to have insurance to protect the piece itself? The valuable of the piece, what if someone comes in and damages it?
Right, yeah.
Do we have to hold insurance to protect that from damages if it happens on our property? Or the town property? That's
Well,
one of my questions.
Yeah, these are questions, I don't think we have answers to. And, so this is why I'm interested in your input, because I'm not sure that we're ready at this point to accept the gift, albeit a temporary gift. It's basically a loan, not really,
So can I?
there are questions that I think possibly a subgroup needs to consider. And then either come back to the board with a recommendation or come back to the board with the list of questions that they've generated to discuss it.
no, weren't we going to have, and you mentioned it earlier, Al, weren't we going to have some sort of, just group discussion with the people that own this as to how we're going to deal with the whole outside art aspect of everything?
Yeah, well, that was
And-
part of the long range planning. Yeah.
Right, and
That was the part of we haven't
And
done.
we- and we never did
didn't
that.
do that long range planning.
we never
part
did that.
outside.
right,
Yeah, well, the long range planning is somewhat, I think, tied to the strategic planning,
Yeah.
and once that's done, then we,
Well,
look.
long range plan and strategic plan are essentially the same thing. So what I think what I think the board needs to decide in the course of us establishing the strategic plan, you know, it doesn't have to be a specific action we write down, but I think the board needs to be on the same page about whether or not we're going to be doing, you know, outdoor development. I don't necessarily think that like we're gonna spend a whole bunch of meetings here like this designing the outdoor space, but I think that the board as a whole needs to either, okay, we're gonna pursue some level of development or we're not. Because right now I feel like we're kind of in this in-between area where, you know, we have potentially this incoming piece of art that we're maybe trying to do some things around or not. Yeah, basically. And so I'm kind of looking for the board to be of one mind about this so that I can take further action as the director to, you know, find more resources to go in whatever direction the board deems most appropriate for the library's future.
I have a point of clarification.
Yes,
please.
sure.
Because I was not here for all this previous discussion, and this is kind of all new to me. Um. So when you said that the garden tour is sponsored, it's raised money.
Yep.
To provide this to
Yes.
the library, to benefit the library.
Um,
That's
Yeah.
what it says on the garden
Yes.
tour, that the monies that we
Yes.
take from the garden tour are going to
Yes.
benefit the library,
Right.
correct?
Right.
So can you explain to me how this is gonna benefit the library?
One of the discussions we've been having is how do we use outside spaces?
Yes,
And how do we extend the art that we do inside, outside? So this is a way to expand the art, the appeal to local artists and the availability of art to the library community.
and the Terrapin is important to the library, how?
Because it is the, Eastham animal, it is, Audubon's most successful Terrapin gardens are all in Eastham, and it's considered the Eastham animal.
Okay, well, I mean, I protect the Terrapins, I've saved many myself, but
Right,
at the same time,
Right.
our personal property law rule says that it has to be specifically and clearly related to library or local history. It has to have adequate, you have to have adequate space, and the item has to be able to receive the proper care and attention. I don't know that it meets all of those requirements.
Are you looking at the gift acceptance policy?
I
Cause
am.
I pulled it up too.
Yeah, I have it. So that was my question. Does it fit in with our gift requirement? And you know, when I was going on the garden tour for years before I did this, and I thought I was benefiting the library, do the people who have donated all of this money that through the garden tour things, do they really understand that this is what was going to happen with that money? When you say benefit the library, do they think
well,
of,
I don't think we certainly never polled all the people who attended the gardens on how.
right, but it's
how-
implied beneficial to what's benefiting the library is implied, and people have different ideas about what that might be, granted. But when we started this whole thing, was there a previous contract or some kind of intent, how this intended donation was going to be for the garden tour? Did that ever happen? Was there ever any kind of specific discussion about what this donation might be?
I don't
This
know
is a
who we
lot.
have.
The garden tour first began under Al Biffy,
Right,
Mhm.
under the Eastham Library Building Fund, and it was a program that the Eastham Library Building Fund Committee ran,
Mhm.
and the monies were definitely
they were all
it-
used for,
to
went
be-
into El
to-
Biffy, the
to-
first.
For the El
to
Biffy,
be,
okay.
to be used
First
for,
5
for the building of the new
Okay.
building.
Okay, then-
And when Al Biffy decided to um go stop because the building was built, we gave Al Biffy gave $2,000 to the Friends in order to start up the program under the Friends, since Al Biffy was no longer alive.
Right,
For advertising and.
And for
things like
advertising
that.
and things to start up.
Okay, and then the money was going to go towards,
Well, they were gonna raise money and I'm not sure that there was ever a designated, this is what it's gonna be used for.
so has the trustees, has this ever been up until before November? Had that ever been brought up before about how this
Well,
of art was going to be the donation?
we had back in 24 there were a number of discussions that started in August.
Mhm.
And their proposal came from the Garden Committee, and Mike Sarcone did a presentation, PowerPoint, the whole thing of what the piece of art would be, and it extended into other areas like seating and stuff like that.
Shade.
And it sort of carried over. Then we were supposed to have in September, we talked about setting up a work session in October. I'm not sure that we ever actually set the work session, because I didn't find any agenda or minutes
No,
for a
we didn't.
work
No, we
session.
No, we didn't.
And then at the October meeting, there was the explanation that the work of art was being commissioned by the Hydrangea Garden Tour Committee. And that's when we set an agenda for work session, but then it didn't happen. And then the final meeting was in November, the middle of November, where we basically there wasn't a formal motion to table the discussion, but basically the discussion in the minutes is the discussion of the outdoor sculpture will be delayed and coordinated with the long-range planning. And that's where we left it back in November of 24.
So to answer you, as I understand, but I was a new trustee last year. Last summer was the first time that trustees were presented
With the idea.
with the idea.
But
It
you've
had
been
never
fundraising for
Been
how many years
previously,
for this
but-
though? But how many years have you been fundraising for this sculpture? 5,
For something,
for something.
for something.
And when did it just be decided that it was gonna be this?
Well, last
sculpture?
summer, last October, there was a presentation here,
Okay,
that
so
this is
that-
what we'd like to do with it,
Okay,
have this sculpture. We didn't commission the sculpture until March of this year.
but had we agreed that we were going to do the sculpture before you
think that-
commissioned it?
That's what the group assumed, that in October, when we talked about having the money used for the sculpture, there was no dissent, and there was the only conversation was then about how we should cite it, and should we fold it in with a bigger discussion about how we used kids' space down here, how we use reading garden, how we make the reading garden more shaded and more seating, because right now very few people can use it, and how do we use outside space?
That's not
Yeah,
how
that's-
I remember it at
Yeah, I have a
all.
different-
And I
Okay.
have emails documenting
Okay.
why we had to cancel the work session and like the issues with taking the sculpture.
Okay,
Yeah, and I had basically, I think in October, when we were talking about setting up the work session, we were, I think, basically told that the committee was commissioning the piece of artwork, and then proposing that they give it to the library as a gift. But I think by the fact that we just, there were so many open questions, and then we put
Right,
it on the
that's
back
right.
burner, I don't think we ever gave the impression that this is a fait accompli, and that,
we did have that impression.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe
I didn't
incorrectly.
have, I didn't
Maybe
have that
incorrectly.
feeling.
I think there should have been a contract or some kind of written statement saying, because this is not an inexpensive piece of art,
No, it's not.
right? I mean, I don't know, but I'm assuming it's pretty expensive piece of art.
Right.
And as a gift, we're kind of just like, you're gifting us a turtle for a little while to take care of and build a little house for him out there and someplace fun for him to live in. And I get that, but who's gonna maintain that? Who's going to build that? Who's gonna pay for all of that? And I just feel like if we have a deed and a contract, there should have been a previous contract of some kind stating for something that's worth this much money that we really were gonna want it, that's how. It's great that you wanna support the library and do something wonderful for the library, but I don't think
Yeah,
this could be it.
the other thing too is if the fundraising was for the outdoor sculpture, this is a temporary gift to the library, so it's not that it's being given to the library.
It could be a permanent gift, but I think
Yeah, and
what
I'm
we
not-
assume is we would prefer a permanent gift, but I think the library art acceptance is that it's long-term temporary because the library does not want to own this stuff.
Is that
For it
true?
to be.
Well, it says if we do accept it, then all requests for or at the discretion of for transfer of it will be considered by the board, the appropriate deed or gift, similar document transferring sole and exclusive ownership of the item to the library will be required for the transaction, and all proceeds gained from the disposal of the gift may be used by the library in a way consistent with the original donation. So that means if we wanted to sell it, we could.
Yep. Yep.
But right now, the way it's written, we're just it's just a gift.
Good.
So the money isn't really benefiting the library.
Could I jump in here for a second?
I'm sorry.
I don't think this is a discussion that's gonna reach closure today. If people disagree with me,
No, I agree with
I think
you.
you're right.
I think
Yeah.
you're right.
so what I would suggest is if we have a couple of people meet with, Willow or other people from the, garden committee and compile the list of questions, which many of them will probably be in the minutes from today, and sort of go through that, and then come back to the board, with a report. Not necessarily a recommendation, it may be a recommendation, but come back to the board with a report. That we can then, read through, digest before the meeting. And then come make a decision at a meeting. To me, that seems like the best avenue right now. I don't see us voting on this.
No, it doesn't,
Today.
no.
So.
But what's gonna happen to the sculpture? I mean, what are our,
I mean, it's already done and
We
paid for,
will,
basically.
we will put it at one of our houses.
okay.
I'll put it at my house. I'll pay for it. I will give the money back to the library and I'll buy
I
it. No,
I know
I
I'm
can
coming
buy
in late to the game and I'm trying to just understand where you're coming
I
from.
can buy it though.
I mean,
I will do that.
I love turtles, don't
Yeah,
get me
I know.
wrong.
No,
I know I love
But
turtles.
I can, I will reimburse the garden committee and take possession of the turtle. Not a problem.
It's
No,
not
I
gonna
can do
be
that.
homeless.
Well, at this
It's
point,
homeless.
are we gonna have a subgroup looking at all their circumstances under which we will accept it before Willow goes to that
Right,
extent
yeah,
of,
that's
you know,
I got a good place for it.
I think Melanie's guidance was the broader question. I'm sorry, I don't wanna speak for you.
No, please.
You had. At the beginning of the discussion, you said, I think that this is the question.
Yeah, I'm looking to have some guidance about how I can, help best pursue whatever ends the trustees are going for. What I want to avoid is, this is all a very gracious donation. I just think we all want to be clear, when we get the opportunity to have a gift bequeathed to the library, be it an actual thing or money, what's the proper procedure and how do I as director
Yep.
direct resources and services and support around whatever this donation, be it a physical thing or money is. So yeah, I want to be clear, is the board interested in accepting, because I think if they are interested in accepting the art, then it makes sense to kind of ask all the questions of the art committee and get more information there. But I think today we kind of need to decide, is this something we want to pursue? That's not a cut and dry thing. There's nuance to that, but I think the board needs to kind of make a decision, especially because this piece has been created and that's a lot of moving parts around if we're not going to be accepting it.
Right, if, that we need to know sooner versus later and
Right.
I need to get the funds back to you.
So I would ask that somebody on the board make a motion to determine if we want to start the process of pursuing this or not.
I just want to make,
have to
I have a question, and I just want to make sure I understand. The cost of building this seahorse. Terrapin, seahorse, terrapin.
Lighten that up.
The cost of,
yeah, the seahorse, I think, was Shelley.
Shelley.
We already have a sequel.
Yeah, the cost of building this
Right,
art piece of art
that's right,
cost some money.
yes.
And the money that was used to build that came from
half, 50% of it came from proceeds from the last 5 years of garden tours.
And the other 50 came from,
Private
Yes,
donations.
private donations.
so 50%, what is 50%? What does that amount to about?
$25,000.
$25,000.
That's the 50% of the total amount.
No, that's the 50%. The garden tour makes about $5,000 a year. For the last
Mhm.
5 years is $25,000.
$50,000.
Okay. I wasn't sure on the financial part, where, how, what.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
That's the financial part.
So
And what, excuse me, and
Yeah.
was that, how was that decided to use after over 5 years? How was that decided to be used for that? In the
The garden committee.
garden
had
committee?
The Eastham Garden Committee that just put on today's event, had several meetings, actually a lot of meetings about what we could do that we thought we could do for the library, that the library would never be able to do for themselves.
Mhm.
Something that was, artistic, garden oriented. Because that's what they're all about, is garden oriented and
Mhm.
art and flowers and stuff like that. But they wanted to do something that the library would just be unlikely to ever be able to afford to do independently by themselves.
Now, when did the Eastham Garden Committee start doing what I've just spent the day today? Because originally the
10 years
Friends,
ago, 10 years ago.
because after Albiffy stopped, you
Right.
took it over, and then it went from the Friends to the Garden
No,
Committee?
we're basically, our treasurer, it handles the money and writes the checks. But other than that, the garden committee,
The garden committee is a subset.
right,
Oh, that's what I wanted to
Right.
understand. The Garden
Yeah.
Committee is related to the Friends.
That's right.
right.
Yeah, and my understanding when it was set up is it's, as Debbie just described it, they take care of the
The money.
financial
Right.
part of it,
Mhm.
but the group was a separate part. At the time, if you call the Friends
Right.
initially were reluctant to
Right,
take
right,
over
that's
the garden
You're
tour.
correct about
So
that.
we said, well, how about, Biffy said, how about we give you a couple of $1,000s in startup money if you have to do some advertising,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
next year's. garden
Cash
tour,
to
so you don't
start.
have to dig into your treasury, and tongue in cheek, but actually in reality, we'll give you the people who've been coordinating
Right,
and running
because
it,
Betsy continued
and they
on.
will become a subset.
Right.
And so that's how they became a subset of the Friends, but it's the garden tour committee.
Right,
That's
So the
right.
Garden
I
Tour
think that-
Committee, as a subset of the Friends, decided to use 50% for this sculpture.
That's right.
And it was approved by the Friends?
Well, I don't think.
They don't have
it
to.
wasn't up to us to do.
No.
The Friends only did the recorded.
Right.
The original arrangement was.
The bank, they needed a nonprofit, they needed a 50,
Mhm.
50.
They do their banking.
And after El Biffy was no more,
Right,
Yeah.
we became their 501,
the 501c3.
right?
I do have to say, that the garden committee has been so enthusiastic about this, that if we decide not to take it, or we decide to use the proceeds from the garden committee in another way, I suspect that this will be their last garden tour this year. Just so you know.
Yeah.
That's-
That benefits the library, you're saying,
No,
or?
they have it at all.
They won't have it.
They won't have it. It will dissolve.
Oh.
The garden committee will dissolve.
That's,
But I'm just saying, Mary, that's people's dedication and emotion and purpose and.
the
And all of
purpose is
it.
for the library. How can, that doesn't make any
This is-
sense to me.
I think going back to, I think what Melanie requested was some type of motion from the board that would indicate as the end plan, would the board be interested in accepting this gift? Or is this something that the board is not interested in accepting?
Right.
And then that would determine whether or not we want to invest additional energy, either our board or the garden committee wants to invest additional time and energy
Right.
in discussing it. So I think it would be a motion of intent along the lines of, there would be a motion, that, let me just think for a second.
I'm ready to type.
Let's start writing yet.
I've been with bated breath.
Pending, something like pending further review. Including the ownership of the sculpture. And acceptable terms within the deed of property, deed of transfer, I forget what it was called,
Deed of gift.
the deed of gift. That the library board would be open to considering this gift. I guess that would be a motion. Could you read back what I said? Because I rambled enough.
Pending further review, including the ownership of the sculpture, and defining acceptable terms for the deed of gift.
Guess the library board would be willing to consider.
A motion that the library board would consider the gift,
It wouldn't be alone.
the gift from the East Hampton Garden Tour Committee. That the library board would consider the gift, a gift from the Eastham Garden Tour Committee pending further review. Including the ownership of the sculpture, which would define the acceptable terms for the deed of the gift. That's what I said. Or would consider, consider,
Said it's too expensive.
consider
She's going into the archives.
I mean, I think we have to consider it, like,
taking.
I don't wanna be the one on record that ruined the Eastham Garden tour.
Me either.
Right?
Okay, well,
But
this
it
is why
also
there'll
feels
be a
like a
motion,
little bit of pressure.
you know, if we can reach the
But it would.
necessary agreement.
The board decides that it's not, it really would be okay. I think so. I mean, you would get all the money and then you could decide, the friends could decide how they wanted to spend it. It's $55,000.
I just said all day taking my kids to the garden tour. It was fabulous. I don't want to.
We don't wanna kill it.
It's okay. And it should be okay.
No, but it shouldn't be okay. I mean,
No, it's not.
you know, we all, 1, 2, 3, 4 of us worked it.
I know.
And it isn't, I mean, the Goodwill, being a founding garden in the whole Cape Cod Hydrangea Festival is like, it's money in the bank.
We are known as the best
Right.
garden tour
And
on the Cape.
Comments you hear today from people.
I
that
get all
like,
that. I get
stop
all
doing
that.
it.
I get all that.
But if it doesn't work for
No,
us,
I get all that.
I
just
think
wish-
the point is that we have to spend the time researching it
Yes.
and doing the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
deep dive,
You have-
answering all these
Go
questions.
through the pluses and the minuses.
So-
I don't think we can take it next month, right? But we have to get all of these
I,
legal and liability.
right, the liability, the
questions
legal stuff
answered.
and
So would
Who's gonna- do all this
would
stuff.
this motion that's on the floor now do that? Would that give us the opportunity to explore further? And then come back with a recommendation?
I'm sorry, read it again, because I.
Yeah,
I don't know.
read it
I don't
again.
know. That the library board would consider taking the gift from the Eastham Garden Tour Committee. Pending further review, including the ownership of the sculpture. And define acceptable term, including defining, why don't we say that, defining acceptable terms for the deed of gift.
Does it have to be a motion or can it just be a
subcommittee.
a subcommittee that we follow up?
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be a motion, except I think the original intent is we wanted an action
Yeah,
that would be recorded, so I think
I think
the
it does.
motion, I think the motion would do that.
Right, consider taking.
Yeah, it would say,
Doesn't-
this is our intention, we're gonna review it. So they're saying to the garden committee, we're gonna take a hard look at this. And we're gonna consider taking it or not. These are gonna be, we listed some of our criteria. And when we come back, I would imagine the subcommittee would come back with recommended. You know, we would be willing to take it under these conditions.
Okay,
That would then go back to the garden committee or not.
Yeah.
And if it was to take it under these conditions, that would go back to the garden committee rather than signing the gift, a deed of gift.
Yeah.
That would go back to the garden committee. They would look at it and then they would decide, okay, we
Except
we
your,
agree with these conditions, so we'll donate the gift to you. And
okay.
then we're
Melanie,
set,
is
then we
that
just have to pick a
satisfying?
location.
Okay.
And we're good to go, and since it's not a permanent mount at this point,
No,
we have some flexibility on where it goes or how it's. What the design around it would be, et
Mhm.
cetera. So I think that motion right now, if it's made and seconded, would satisfy what we're trying to do, and then what we would have to do is set up a subcommittee
Okay,
of a couple of board members, 2 or 3 board members, or however many wanted to work on this and come back with a recommendation.
okay,
So,
so moved.
right, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. I think we've already had the discussion. So, let us go around the table. Mary, I'll start with you.
aye,
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Willow?
Got it. Aye.
Okay, now, subcommittee, anybody willing? I was anticipating I would see 2 hands.
Willing or not, she's on it.
So we have the subcommittee of, Robin and Sarah. Would be working on this.
Let me double
And-
check with the town clerk to make sure, I just need to double check with the town clerk to make sure, like, who can be present at that, cause I think it would need to be a public meeting
If we
if
had
Robin, Sarah and Willow are all at the same.
I think we could probably just email Willow our question, you know, we can just do.
Yeah.
Like, we could, yeah, we'll try to avoid the public meeting.
you don't want me on it.
No,
No, we
no,
Well,
oh,
The 3 of you cannot deliberate over email.
right,
right,
So I
so
won't be on it. It's all right.
could she be on it as a member of the
No.
garden tour or not?
She can be CC'd on communication, she cannot contribute
I
to
can't
any
contribute
discussion
anything.
that happens.
Yeah, or what you can do,
Can't
she
be a
could,
public
you
meeting.
could talk.
It's not
with
like
somebody
we
in the garden.
I'll make it a public meeting, I just wanted to, then I need to be in the loop so I can post it, so.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Is that
we'll keep
okay?
you in the- Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
figure it
okay,
out.
just keep me in the loop, and I will help, I'll make it happen.
I mean, it could be a public meeting, Willow, and then
You
you
have
could
to
be
be.
there, because we have it.
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do.
Kind of do.
So the
yeah.
thing is, having a public meeting, we're not
So
gonna get.
come up with a date then.
Yeah, we'll figure
What
it
if
out.
the 3 of you come up with a date for this
Yeah,
meeting? And it would be it would be set up as a work session.
Yeah.
And come up with Sarah as vice chair and come up with an agenda. And I think the minutes from today will probably touch upon many of the points that we discussed.
Yeah, can we send questions beforehand? So that,
The
have
questions.
to get in.
if
can they
you
be,
send
can
questions
they be listed in the
beforehand
agenda?
To do individual replies. So you could send. You could send an email to the trustees. With would be interested in responses to these questions, so that when the subgroup meets. You know, we can, we'll have something to discuss, but to not use reply all. We can't have a group discussion, so you
Right.
can ask for input. And you can receive input from the trustees individually, and then the committee can compile that input and deal with it.
Okay.
But
I think
we just can't communicate
Yeah.
it. In person or via email as a group,
okay.
so definitely no use of reply all.
So I have a motion made by Sarah, seconded by Robin, that the library board would consider taking the gift from the Eastham Garden Tour Committee pending further review, including defining acceptable terms for the deed of gift, approved 5-0. Sarah and Robin will form the subcommittee and hold a work session on this topic too. And when are you gonna report back?
Well, we have to decide when we're gonna meet first.
Or can they report back at an upcoming meeting?
Yeah. I'm not even
Yeah, well,
ready
you say
to
at
the
a-
next.
At an
meeting
upcoming
next-
meeting would be good.
In the future.
by
Well, I know
Christmas,
it's Like we're under under like a time constraint.
Well,
I think the sooner the better, but
We are under time constraint, because this 400 pound thing is showing up in August.
August, okay,
And-
well, August, okay.
It's in August. So this fire, while it is able to be moved, I mean, Jamie has a excavator and a big flatbed. And he can move it somewhere. But it would be better not to move it multiple times.
Right.
yeah, right.
Is it, okay, all right, well, okay,
We're gonna get our
We're gonna figure it out.
calendar together.
Okay, so I
let's
think,
keep moving, cause I have. to
yes, we
leave.
have to move and
But I just have one comment. I'm sorry, that as I was looking at the gift acceptance policy, and on part of the gift acceptance policy says, see gift acceptance form. And I could not find anywhere the gift acceptance form.
Online?
Online, yeah.
okay, so. Oh, let me ask this, this all came up in the midst of the director's report. So is there anything else, Melanie, that you have?
I think we're
Are
good
you
to move
done?
on to old business.
Well, what we can do is, so long as Debbie is here now, what we can do is move back to the French
Okay.
report and get that in closer to where it would have fit in the agenda.
Okay.
And then we'll come up to old
Yeah.
business. It's really jumping around today.
Al, that's your,
What is this?
From Friends,
end of year
end of
for
year.
the Friends, fiscal year 25.
Okay,
Thank you very much, because,
Yep.
Okay.
this, as you know, really bugs me that it's not provided when you have your annual meeting.
Okay, we did not meet in July. Our next meeting is August 7th. Our annual book sale was successful. We cleared just over 3,000 on book sales. The door counter registered more than 600 on Saturday and 283 on Sunday, when the library was closed. So that 283 just for the book sale on Sunday. And this also does not include any of the people who came and went through the book drop door, which once we opened the front doors, there was many people that came in that way. So, but we have no way of counting that, but anyways, everybody feels that, we had more people than last year, so that's good. And other than that, because we didn't meet, I don't have anything exciting other than this is the budget performance, and it's got last year's final, this year's final, and the budget and next year's plan. And, on the back is the balance sheet comparing last year and this year.
okay,
Deb, under donations, under revenue donations, the fifth item down, you've got a budget of 10 and you ended up with 52.
Yep. There's no way with donations of ever knowing that somebody is gonna give you a check for 10,000 because they love you, or a check for 25,000 because they like
right.
you.
Right.
It just, you don't have any way of,
Mhm.
you know, because if you look
You
at the
don't.
donations for last year, for fiscal year 24, it was 10,000.
Mhm.
So you're just basing on that.
Any more than you're gonna know when somebody puts donations for the Eastham Library, what you actually might collect.
Mhm.
okay, thank you.
Thank
Yep.
you.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
right.
I emailed it to you, a little.
Under, now we're up to under old business, we have the community fridge. The community fridge policy I have in a, let me just. I have that.
Hopefully people had a chance to look at this, but I only want a motion for the board to approve it if this is something that they think is worthwhile investing staff time and library resources on at this point.
So if I could. Say something, so I probably a year ago was at the Hyannis Library and, I believe they work with Family Collaborative.
Yes.
Right, so I saw kind of how it looked and I actually spoke to the director about it and the library staff. And that's when they told me that they all needed to get trained in the safe, like trained to work the refrigerator. And that also, and like most of the stuff was sandwiches and then they did have like a fruit basket next to it. And that most of like the fresh things were actually not, you know, they just would happen to go bad and not use. So, and I did see somebody use it who, probably was without a home. And then eating it like in the basically in the library type of thing, or right outside the library. So I definitely, so my sense was it was a, from what I viewed, it definitely was a resource that that community needs for their particular people that reside in the community type of thing. I am just concerned about the amount of time, like the dedication of the staff to it. I mean, I think it is so commendable that you want to do this and provide it to the Eastham community. My issue just is like, is that an effective use of your time? And because the library doesn't need to be all things to our Eastham community. So is that really, given your skill set and your knowledge and your motivation, is that the best use of your time to be learning Safe Serve, to be managing the food for whatever part of our community that you're trying to target? Because you have an incredible skill set. So is that what the director should be spending their time on, and even the other library staff? And so that was just my, and so that's just my feedback on what I saw in one of these in action. And then what I've learned in participating in other, talking with people that work in kind of social service programs, and this was not about food, but it was about providing winter coats to children, is this whole thought with charitable giving or charity is giving people something rather than giving them the resources that they can go and choose their own thing. So basically, like, you don't want to buy, you know, 100 of the same blue coat so that every kid that goes to school, oh, you got the like free coat. It's,
Yeah.
you know, maybe not everybody wants to eat a ham and cheese sandwich and an apple. So it's, so that you guys know. Those are my thoughts.
Okay, so again, this is a topic that we've talked quite a bit about at the meeting. So the requested motion is to approve the new community fridge policy. And I guess the question is, do we want to proceed with that? If we approve the policy, then I think that would signify we're going forward with it. We wouldn't do approve the policy and then say, well, maybe we're not gonna go forward with it anyway. So I would think that it would be a motion to approve the new community fridge policy
If no one
and
seconds it, then
implementation.
yes, I was gonna say if somebody opts to move the motion that I wrote down and nobody seconds it, then the motion dies.
It
And that
does.
effectively means that the trustees opted not to vote
Yeah,
on
right.
that. So that
right.
would indicate to me that we're not moving forward with it.
Right, yeah, so that's,
Yeah.
it would either be a motion, and what I'm getting at is if we make this motion is this is just to approve the policy.
Right,
I think it should say and implementation,
okay,
because we're not gonna approve the policy and
If you're not gonna
then not
implement
implement it. And then if there's a motion to that effect and a second, then we can have a vote. If not, it dies for lack of a second or lack of a motion. So is there a motion to approve the new, I'll get rid of the word new. To approve the community bridge policy and implementation? Is there a motion to approve the community fridge policy and implementation? I'll ask a third. Is there a motion to approve the community fridge policy and implementation? Chair rules that due to absence of a motion, we will not have a vote. Does not go forward.
thank you for the feedback.
Okay, next is a motion to approve the outdoor creative playspace policy. I move that we approve the outdoor creative playspace policy as printed in the packet.
So moved.
Yeah, I moved it, so second.
Oh, second, okay.
Second. discussion? Seeing no, yes.
Yeah, I have a question on that as far as, and something that was brought up on the other discussion about liability.
Mhm.
And obviously it's children and in the back and the pond and equipment. And you've said that it's only going to be used at daylight. I'm looking for my copy of it. Daylight hours and. let me
Yes,
see. Here it is here. Yeah. And I would think that for safety, you say, and if, children under 10 years of age should have, I would say must have.
Mhm.
And as I say, liability in the last, second to last sentence, you're talking about the rough spots on this log and the stump, are people gonna be cutting themselves, or, I mean, what does rough spots mean?
So the rough spots means just what you said, it's natural material, so it's not treated for smoothness. And that's what this is alerting folks to, is that the playground equipment is not specified for, nullification of textures.
Mhm.
You get a splinter over
You
the
could
air.
you could get a splinter.
Yeah.
So I can put that more explicitly about what kind of risk there is there, but, essentially the pieces are, the same liability as any kind of outdoor natural material. The only thing that they could feasibly really climb on is the log, which we've indicated as being stabilized for safety, and that will be a further distance away from the pond. And the note that the play space is unmonitored is to, remove a certain
Liability.
liability from staff. It's not their job to monitor. Yeah, I think the must versus should make sense. I reached out some time ago. The rec department doesn't have any like specific insurance for the playground at Field of Dreams. So that shouldn't be an issue in terms of like an insurance coverage for something like that. We've had some conversations about the board, us casually, about trying to maybe put in some kind of fencing. I'm not. I don't. I'm happy to move in whatever direction the board feels would be safest for the outdoor area, but Leah and I aren't feeling like that is a necessary structure to put in place in order to put small creative play pieces out in the back. So I haven't pursued taking out fencing or anything like that. So that's sort of where it stands. That's why the policy doesn't mention anything about fencing.
And I think Sarah made some great points last time about, as the mom of two of these little kids, you felt fine about it.
Yeah.
The way it was.
I mean, this isn't without precedent. Hyannis Library has.
Yeah.
The same type of equipment and the mud kitchen. I was actually trying to look on there. And I remembered I already did this because they have no policy.
Yeah.
Cause I was gonna say, oh, what's Hyannis's policy?
Yeah.
They don't have.
Truro has a mud kitchen. I wonder if they have. a
Yeah,
policy.
yeah, actually, I meant to follow up with them about their policy. So we're ahead of the game, with the policy.
I mean, I assume the library has, or through the town has general slip and fall, like, so.
Yeah.
And that they know about it because they're installing it, so it should fall under
Right.
that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Staff wanted to make sure that we had specific language about proper access to the equipment, so as to set a good expectation with,
Definitely
families.
with that
Yeah,
door.
yeah,
They're gonna have to put a sign on it.
yeah, yeah.
And the other, I had another thing, under access, the outdoor creative is meant to inspire creative play and natural, and is only available. I would put the word only in there. During daylight hours.
They don't have any policies either.
Yeah, I think those are good edits.
Oh, good job on all having all our policies.
Okay.
Policy. I don't.
So, do we have a motion then to approve the outdoor creative,
Yeah, you
play
made
space
them.
I thought you already
policy?
have that.
Yeah.
Make the motion, okay, and
Yeah,
then, so
Alan,
discussion was seconded, and with the edits,
Mhm.
I don't think we have to handle the edits as amendments to the motion. I think that was part of the discussion that we would just make these edits. So I think we're ready for a vote. Mary?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving back now, the agenda. We did that, the CD renewal, which is on page, there's information on page 10 in the packet, on some rates, Melanie.
Yep, this is just informational on the current rates, which you can see were effective July 8th, and so the rates printed here would apply to the renewal that we established for the CD. Which now I'm forgetting on, but I did tell Cam and he did do that. I can look that up if you guys need me to, but that all went through according to what our last vote was. Yep, that's it on the CD renewal rates, unless anyone has questions.
And the rate was 5,
Would,
3.5%
3, 5,
APY.
right?
APY is 3.5.
yeah,
Right, 3,
yep, because it was 12 months, yep, that's what we did.
Right.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that update. I believe we're ready to move on to new business. And it's 5:30. I know a couple of you mentioned that you did need to leave at a fixed time, so I'll try to expedite things at this point. The next one is a motion to allow the library director to expend from the various library memorial trust funds for the needs of the library during FY 26. This, Robin, is a motion we do every year, authorizing the director to expend funds. So may I have a motion?
I move to allow the library director to expend funds from the various library memorial trust funds for the needs of the library during fiscal year 26.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Sarah from Sarah, second from Sarah. Any other discussion on that?
Are we, when we approve it, are we approving this specific spreadsheet or no, just?
No, this is
No, I
just
think
to give me
it's-
permission to
Okay.
pay
Right.
bills.
We don't have this, we don't have a spreadsheet for all those
I
accounts.
don't know,
Yeah.
but we also don't know what's.
Yeah,
It wasn't in the
I think the
back.
best summary, Melanie,
Yeah,
is
it was
it's
something I wanted to.
giving
talk to you
her
about.
Right.
the
Right.
authorization to pay the bills without coming to us for every.
Right.
Thing.
Right.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mary?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, and I have a note to myself that we don't have a copy of the outline of all of the,
Yeah, if you guys let me know ahead of time that that's missing, I can send it to you,
Oh.
but now in the live meeting, it's kind of
Yeah,
difficult for me to
yeah,
share
yeah,
at this point.
Wait, what is?
I put in, I think, a second copy of a
Oh, there's
different
two.
report, and there's not the memorial funds report, so I
Oh,
apologize
yeah.
about that.
Oh, all right.
I just thought it was
Mom,
maybe silly.
No.
Again, we're at the vote, Mary?
Aye.
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 Aye, 5-0, good. Okay, review and approval of the trustee goals, which are on pages 11 through 13. Of the packet. Packet. And.
Oh, there's that.
Page 11. Turn, because it's different orientation. Comments here, I only had one myself, but I'd like to start with others if you have any comments,
I had no comment.
I don't call me.
okay. The Mary,
under two, you have, the beginning of each one with a verb: attend, seek, review, continue, pursue. I think F needs a verb.
where are we now?
Two F.
2F, advocate for the needs of the library and explore funding.
Programming's not a verb. Programming.
Needs a verb.
Funding,
I would say,
I think actually advocate for the needs of the library and
Advocate
explore
for the verb.
funding to
Isn't
to
programming?
be added. And then to attend legislative, to seek funding, to review technology, to continue to evaluate.
To pursue energy.
And
I think in the way.
I would say-
It's a noun, the way. it's
monitor,
worded.
continue to monitor program activity.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so add to. What is this? Is a PDF, so,
2 programs.
just,
What do you monitor it?
programming. Activities.
Actually, no, because I think,
Like fund? Maybe
yeah,
fund
I think Melanie's right. It shouldn't be, because it's explore funding to
To attend.
provide.
Okay, yeah,
That makes
to
sense? To
provide there,
provide.
or actually what we would do is 2 would be at the end of
Funding.
number 2, and then provide would be added to the
Mhm.
Yeah,
ending
yes,
program and
yeah.
funding.
Mhm.
Right.
So this would be,
Okay, yeah, that makes,
this would be 2A is 2, and F to provide. Provide.
Hmm.
Are there any other suggestions from anybody else?
I know you had something, Al, under 1F.
Yeah, 1F is, in the past, we've talked about the library as support in the storm and to continue to review the solar and generator capacity. And I think the town has made pretty clear that they don't view us as being used as that type of facility support in a storm, that they have other emergency facilities and they have an emergency management plan. So I don't know that we need to retain that in in our goals. So my proposal would be that we drop 1F and then G becomes F. That would be my proposal. Mary?
But I just want you to know that at one time, the town seriously discussed putting solar panels over the parking lot.
Hmm.
And I don't think that we're completely done with trying to solarize different parts of this town, so
Hmm.
I'm not sure that I would necessarily remove it.
That sounds like a town initiative, not necessarily a library.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and if they had a proposal to put solar panels as the Board of Library Trustees, I'm not, do we have? I'm not, it's a town building. I'm not sure we could say, no, we don't want them, but I think that's a separate issue
Mhm.
as to our continuing to pursue solar and generator. So my proposal would be that we drop 1F.
okay,
Is,
Sounds good.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing
that's fine,
consensus.
yep, sounds good.
Okay, so,
We'll do that.
we have a motion to approve the library goals as printed with the editorial changes, or with the changes, not necessarily editorial in this case, with the changes that include the dropping of 1F and in number 2, adding the word "to" following funding.
You want this all in the minutes?
No, I just, for the
Okay.
discussion, so that then we could vote. And then in F to add the word provide before the word programming. I think those were the only changes we discussed.
Mhm.
So we have a motion then to
Okay.
approve the goals in a second. Mary?
Aye.
I,
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Who made the motion?
Al.
Al.
Yeah, I made the motion.
And will you send out the updated goals?
Yes, and I will update this as I have.
Thank you very much.
And
I'm sorry, who made those motions?
Al
Al.
and Sarah.
I moved, Sarah second.
Alan, Sarah, thank you.
Okay, update goals. And so. Terrapin. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. The Terrapin has absolutely nothing to do with what we just did on the goals, just making notes about what I have to do. Okay, back to the agenda, the trustee, okay, the agenda for the meeting. Okay, so we did the trustee goals. There's a note on the trustee planning of staff appreciation event for the winter of FY 26. Melanie, did you have? something?
So,
You want me to talk about Melanie? It's kind of awkward for you to say.
sure.
A good point was made that when we do our annual staff appreciation event, that the director is organizing it all.
okay,
And she is part of the staff, so it should be something that the trustees are, doing the heavy lifting on, buying the gift certificates. all of the things
Mhm.
instead of asking the staff to throw their own party.
Instead of what?
Instead of asking the staff to throw their own party type of
Oh,
thing.
oh.
Yeah.
So, I think the time of year that we normally do it is in May,
Mhm.
right? So, but, I think Al and I discussed putting this on the agenda for December or January, but I just thought it was a good point that I just had not even thought about. And I said, I think we
You're
should
right.
just share it at the next meeting
You're-
so that people just have it on their mind. And then when we discuss it at the end of the year to figure out who's going to work on that, it's not
Mhm.
us, to work on it in preparation
Last minute.
for the event in April that everyone's like, what are you talking about? Like, Melanie always handles that type of thing. But I was like, oh, I think we should just mention that that's our,
Yeah.
that's our plan for
Yeah.
next.
I think it sort of
Calendar year.
evolved and then ran away, I would ask Melanie to, especially when we started doing the gifts, other than the books, and even including the books, is to find out from the staff what their preference was. And then it was just sort of, okay, here's the whole ball of wax. It's yours.
Which is
So
all,
I think this is good. All right,
Thank
so
you.
I'll get that on the agenda so that, on the calendar so that we get it on the proper agenda. Okay, now,
I'm sorry, I have to run.
yes, and we have the financial reports.
thank you, Sarah.
Is this something that we want to, given this late time in the meeting?
We can table it and then I'll make sure I have the memorial accounts for the next meeting. I apologize for.
Could we table or defer the financial reports to our August meeting as
What do you think,
opposed to
Mary?
carrying
That's
them?
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, why don't we do that? So. Another note. Financial reports.
That'll be okay, cause I have to make an update to a couple expenses anyway, so.
Okay, we have a motion to expend up to $900 from the Elbithi mission on a new Owl 360 camera. That's the little jobby sitting on the table.
Have an editorial change. I neglected
Okay.
to account for the shipping. It would be $1,050 to get a second owl so that we can have one upstairs and one downstairs for meetings running concurrently.
Okay, so a motion to expend up to $1,050 from the Elbithi mission on a new Owl 360 camera. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, Robin, a second,
I'm sorry, was that 1,000?
1,050.
Yeah,
1,050?
Yeah, 1050.
Okay.
Okay, I'll second that motion. And are you ready, Mary?
Yep.
Okay,
Aye.
Mary, aye,
Aye.
aye, 4-0. And I'm assuming that you noted that,
That she left.
that will elect, okay, thank you.
5:40.
All right, the memorial accounts and restrictions, we're gonna do anything on that today?
That I'll include that with the financial report for next month.
Restrictions. And
The sign-a-rama.
a motion to expend $334.06 from the Elbithi mission towards signage updates at the library. May I have a motion on that?
So moved.
May I have a motion, a second? I'll
Mhm.
second. Are we ready to vote? Mary?
I'm sorry, I'm looking to find where is, that's the,
No, I might not, I don't think I gave you an invoice for it, but it's,
the
E
signage.
9E. Are you looking in the spreadsheet? What? So that would be. I have for Elbithi one here.
Oh,
The
you're
signage.
looking at that sheet.
Yeah, but also at the agenda, it's 9E
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
agenda.
Yeah, I see that, yeah,
Uh-huh.
but I was looking for I was thinking that financial, you're looking at this, okay.
Yes, because I had,
Yeah, I see, yeah, so I'm sorry, the 900 is 1,050. And the 334 is the signage. Was that for the wall of honor?
Yes, and the director office and small conference room
Okay,
signs.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So Mary?
Yes, am I making the motion or I am
No,
approving?
you're voting.
You're voting.
I'm voting
Yeah.
aye.
Robin?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, 4-0. Thank you. Do we have any memorial gifts to discuss?
No.
No, okay, that's an easy one. Building review, Melanie,
Um,
and that's on pages 19 to 20 in the packet.
the HVAC update, you probably noticed it's a bit warm in the meeting room. We have not we, the library, John, the head of DPW, has a PO, that is pending being processed with town hall, and once that is approved, we're going to get the work scheduled to fix that. I don't think we ended up going with the Dakin. I think we went with a new vendor for that, so I'll have to confirm that with him. The roof, is not fixed. Blue Sky will be here this week to do some exterior work. We had a contractor here yesterday doing some internal things. I have a one-on-one with Jackie next week where she and I will kind of discuss more things. Al, I don't know, do you want to be at that meeting if you're available? Or do you?
Roof update,
Yeah, this is, so Jackie and I are just gonna, I don't know exactly what she's gonna say, so I don't have a
If you-
specific reason to want you there, I'm happy to relay the information to you, but.
will you know what she wants to raise before the meeting or just at the meeting or?
I'll touch base with her beforehand and ask
Yeah.
if it makes sense to kind of loop you in, or if she and I
Yeah,
should
and
just
if you
kind of.
can, yeah,
Yep.
if you think it makes sense for me to be there.
Mhm.
I will arrange my schedule so that I will do my best to arrange my schedule, as we
Okay.
have family and stuff coming.
Yeah, of course,
But, to be there,
okay,
but, yeah, see if you can find any specifics, about what she might be
Mhm.
suggesting, and if it seems like it would be appropriate for me to be there, I'll arrange it so that I can be.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you, appreciate it. That's pretty much it from me. We did have some outdoor window cleaning that took place last Wednesday. You know, aside from the issues that we've been continuing to deal with, our, facilities working well for us, it's, yeah, we're doing good otherwise, so
Okay.
nothing else for me there.
I don't have any other items under new business, and under other business, we have the listing of our next meeting. Does anybody else have anything that needs to be raised at today's meeting, Mary?
And I'm just back to the maintenance thing.
Okay.
And I know we've just discussed in the past, but the lighting in the stairwell, because of the height.
Yes,
Is that a problem getting it fixed because of the height and you can't figure out how to get up there?
it is, because the other thing where they have that like long claw thing.
Mhm, mhm.
The light fixture for, I think there's just one left that isn't fixed, because last time we had, ceiling work done for the roof repair. One of those gentlemen used the genie to replace one of the lights. The one in the stairwell,
Mhm.
they can't reach with the long claw grabby thing because the light fixture itself is loose, so the whole thing just kind of turns. So I'm at a little bit of a stalemate getting somebody to come and fix it, just because we've reached out to Lower Cape Electric about some other projects, and
Mhm.
they're pretty busy too, so I'm hoping to get that done kind of in conjunction with another
Other
project,
things.
but on its own, it's just, it hasn't been that big of an issue, so we've just kind
And
of.
I was just wondering, as far as lighting is concerned and
It's the height,
safety.
yeah, a DPW tried to do it and they couldn't do
Yeah,
it, so
yeah.
we need more equipment so.
So
Still pursuing
you're
that.
hoping that somebody outside.
Yeah.
Would be able to,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Cause as I say, I think lighting is important to.
yeah, of course,
To have it
and
fixed.
I didn't put this on here in the new spreadsheet for FY 26, but we're still pursuing brighter lights for the back corner of the youth services area by the nonfiction. It's when we got the updated energy efficient lighting back there, they're dimmer, and so we're pursuing brighter light bulbs for that.
Okay. Is there any other business to come before the group this afternoon? Nope. I have a motion, please go.
I move to adjourn.
Robin has moved to adjourn. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mary seconds. Mary?
Aye.
Robin?
I,
Aye.
Aye, 4-0. We are adjourned
thank
at
you.
5:49. Thank you very much, everybody.